And do you guys
So
think it's harder now or before social media?
I
Definitely
think it's
harder.
actually harder, but not for someone who can communicate. Then it might even be
Mhm.
easier. So people that I've taught communication skills, normal social skills can make it easier today, I think, than it was before. But if you don't know how to communicate with women, and also you don't know how to approach women, something we used to call cold approaches. If you don't go and approach women and start a conversation, it will be hard. But if we come from the perspective that you're actually doing something and you have conversational skills, I haven't seen that anything being I haven't seen anything that is harder today than back in the days or something like that. I've seen a very good success rate with guys just being able to go to the woman, start talking, having a normal conversation, and score, getting her number, and then later on going on a date. I haven't seen anything that actually sticks out. I've
Mhm.
heard people saying that, oh, I used a certain dating method and I had to approach several of 100 women to score one date. I've never experienced anything like that. Most of people that can actually go and interact with women, and those women being available, meaning not married, not having a boyfriend and so on, have been very open to go for a date and so on. So I've seen guys going up to like five, six, seven girls maybe, and then actually get one date and then can make something happen. So I cannot say that that would be hard in that sense.
Mhm.
So no, I don't believe that. I just believe that people lack communication skills today. And I also want to be very clear on one thing. Just, I mean, I know that a lot of people say that just be yourself as something moral, like something morally thing that guys should think about. But I'm not saying that. If we're going to look at it objectively, in order to be able to talk with women in the depth that actually trigger attraction, trigger the brain chemistry to make them feel attraction for you, you have to be more yourself than ever before. You have to be authentic. You have to be able to take conversation into depth where it matters. You see, the scientific papers are very clear. It doesn't say that you're going to flash off with a lot of things and telling a lot of funny stories or telling a lot of interesting stories to captivate the woman to just fall in love with you. That is not what the scientific papers are saying. They are saying that in order to really trigger the attraction in women, the first step is to make them talk about what they think about things, with the guy being a true listener. And that is what we need to apply to the dating field. And we have to be ourselves more than before, because we have to listen to what she says and
So,
we have to be able to listen.
so for a cold approach, what are the general topics you tell guys to use?
So for my approach is, you open up with intent. It could go like, excuse me, I know this is spontaneous, but I saw you. I think you look really nice. I just had to come and say hi. I'm Michael. What is your name? And after that point, straight into a normal conversation.
Hmm.
Straight into a normal conversation. Rather than trying to come up with a lot of script-based routines or gambits. That is not what I believe in at all. I believe in going authentically into a normal conversation and then listen to what she says and then take what she say into depth. Not only finding out what she is doing and what she is liking, but the underlying reason why she's liking it, the underlying reason why she did what she did, and
Hmm.
with the guy being a real listener. That is when we're coming into that depth that actually makes an impact. So that is what I do.
What is can you give me an example? Like what, like listening on a deeper level would mean to a guy? Like the why behind what she does, like that you
So
would get in
I can get,
a first conversation, you know? That's what I'm thinking.
I guess. So where are you at the moment, Pearl?
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. So if I ask you this question, what do you think about Chicago?
I like the summer, hate the winter.
You like summer, hate the winter. You know what?
Yeah.
I've been, for example, let's say that I've been in Chicago, and I would say like, you know what? I like Chicago, but only on the summertime because I don't like winter in general. But I'm
Mhm.
curious, when you say you like the winter and summertime. Start with summertime. When you say I like summertime, what do you actually mean?
Um, well, the summers in Chicago are hot, but they're not stupid hot like in the South. So it's just a nice atmosphere. There's ga- like Cubs games and I don't know, it's just nice because you can go outside. It's not like crazy hot and it's just like nice atmosphere.
Okay, so what you're telling me now is that
The
the
why,
reason why
yeah,
you
I
like,
see.
yeah, the reason why you like Chicago on the summertime is simply is a perfect temperature.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and you like to go out for walks and so on. But
Hmm.
tell me, what is your favorite thing to do on a perfect summer day that is not too hot?
Mm. If I'm doing something fun, I think Wrigley is really fun in the summer, like Wrigleyville. So you can go to like a Cubs game and there's like outdoor bars. It's really fun.
Okay, okay. So that is actually the main reason why you like Chicago that much.
Yeah, Wrigley. I love Wrigley.
Right, right, right. I get you.
I
That
don't
is
like baseball though. I just like the atmosphere. I don't really
okay.
care about the game.
Okay, okay, I get it. I get it. The atmosphere is more about the vibe with people
Yeah.
being happy,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah.
happy gives you energy, I guess.
Yeah. I see what you mean because it's like you're asking like why. I get it.
And it doesn't feel like an interrogation because I'm curious about what you actually think. So it
Yeah.
went from, what do you think about Chicago? Because it might sound, from an objective point of view, it might sound like a normal conversation. But in order to be able to do what I just did there, you
Hmm.
need to form a habit of hearing the words that you are saying. Once you have the habit of taking the words, to listen to the words that you are saying, I can actually take that and really finding out what is your relationship to those topics. I mean, if you say, I like the summertime in Chicago, I don't know what that means. I'm seeking deeper meaning, and I also relate myself into that meaning.
Hmm.
And that is the area where women and people in general really, really feel good. You have to take it into depth because suddenly, wow, we are now talking about the things that actually matters in my life. And according to all the scientific studies that we have seen, this is what women actually like to talk about. But they don't do it by themselves. You have to have someone who can take that into that depth.
And so when you hear examples of men approaching like 100, 200, 300 women and having no luck, in your experience, is it that they have improper communication skills, like they didn't learn that? Or is
Yes.
it you think it's more of that than like a looks thing?
I think that people that actually have short-term success with pickup artist, game,
Hmm.
and so on methods are people that might be able to do a certain limited routine-based gimmick naturally. You see, naturally.
Hmm.
So women cannot really see that they are doing something. But if you're not really schooled in that, most women, and specifically those women that have a lot of male attention around, they will see that a mile away, that this guy is just weird.
Hmm.
And also, when they open up with something, many times women are actually not following a certain route. So they might ask something, or they might want to know something about the guy in a way that he can't handle because he was in this routine scripted game. And what happens
Uh,
then is like sayonara, I'm not interested, and they go. So I think our inauthentic, as being not authentic to hurt a lot of guys in their approaches. But if I'm going to ask you now, like I did, by the way, are you from here? Yes, I'm from Chicago. Okay, well, I'm just curious. What do you think about Chicago? And then we go into this normal conversation. There is no gimmicks here. It is
yeah.
just real. It's just being real. And I guess that even if you know that we just made that kind of role play, it felt great.
Hmm.
Telling to me what you think about Chicago, why summertime is that good, that the atmosphere was actually the thing, not the baseball, but the atmosphere with happy
Yeah.
people, everything surrounded. That makes you feel good telling me about it. With me being genuinely curious. That's also one thing. I'm genuinely curious about your life and relationship to things.
Hmm.
That's extremely powerful. But no one can do it unless you're trained to do it. So
Right.
I have my main my main advisor, I would say. His name is Alexander Lyon, professor at University of New York, and we have been speaking a lot about this. And when we try to predict of how many people in general know how to communicate in a proper way, interpersonally, we're talking about one person in 50, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, maybe not even that. So if we have one person in 50 men that is somewhat good in interpersonal communication, then we have 49 men that don't know how to trigger real attraction in women.
Mm.
Yes, then how does it look? Well, women just have it. They're looking pretty, they are attractive already. All the neurotransmitters in the brain of men is just there. But then the opposite, women might be interested in certain men, but they never get really triggered attractively. And then we have this huge imbalance. And if we're going to look at human behaviors based on not feeling so attracted to someone, that is when you are right, Pearl. That is when women start having bad behaviors towards the men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge problem today.
Do you have anything you want to add?
I don't know, covered it very nicely, but so kind of something brought up earlier about how people feel about things getting harder. I would say where social media is concerned, I had some brief conversations with Dr. Um, Mark Rosenfeld, or no, Michael Rosenfeld, who's a professor at Stanford University. He famously put together a set of studies on how couples meet in the USA, and there's an entire graph that is produced somewhere from 1940s or 1960s up to now. And it has been, this study has been done several times to keep it updated. And you'll see that since 1995, online dating uh, started to take off. And then especially from around 2012, 2013, it started to really take a lot of heavy hitting against all the other ways people were meeting, like through family, through friends, church to a lesser extent, through education, workplace, for example. And one of the popular ones, aside from family and friends, normally would be bars slash restaurants. And that has kind of maintained. But online dating is now, well, the internet is now responsible for more than 50% of how couples are meeting since the last few years. And I'm talking about 2020, 2021, approximately, only in the last few years. And it's just completely crazy how we knew the internet was going to take over even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But is dating going to get harder? It's going to get harder for you if you're not doing a damn thing about it. But at the same time, if you are able to perform very well in social media, like I had a trash Instagram for years, and then only pretty recently I started getting a lot of followers. Once it's there, it's already done. The point is that if you can get the work done to make your profile look good, not just Tinder necessarily, but Instagram, let's say, I am expecting to be alive for the next 20,000 days, maybe. The average human lifespan is 28,000 days approximately. So why don't I do something now that will provide me some, as you can say, passive income, but in terms of followers? This is why we have YouTube channels. This is why we have Instagram. I made it so that with what I designed with Game Global, I get followers on Facebook, and I don't lose followers on Facebook necessarily. Like you can easily lose followers on Instagram, but it's not easy to lose followers on or subscribers on YouTube, for example. But it's there for the rest of your life as long as you keep that account under your control. And having that, putting the work in, the job is pretty much done. All you got to do is maintain it, maybe. But if you do the complete opposite and don't participate, that can also be a strength. So similar to what Michael was saying, if everyone's occupied with Tinder and you are the one guy doing cold approach, and actually socializing with people. That is a strength because all the people too fixated on Tinder are not necessarily going to have those social skills. So there are advantages to both sides. And my term for this is some people say text game, but I say message game because texting is an action, but messaging is a marketing strategy. If you have a marketing strategy for your social media, and I don't mean it has to be some fucking serious marketing strategy as if you're running a business, but you are marketing yourself everywhere you go. Like some people wear Nike clothes. They're a billboard for Nike, basically. Be a billboard for yourself. Um, like right now, this is a little hypocritical, but this is a passion of mine. I love Miami Vice. I'm wearing a Miami Vice shirt. I'm a billboard for Miami Vice today. However, that's one of my passions, but kind of irrelevant. Um, to putting in the work and building your internet empire, your internet presence is a great thing. Because if you don't have an internet presence, you effectively don't exist in the virtual world. If you're present in both the virtual world and the physical world, that is the greatest thing you can do in terms of your dating power. If you like to focus on one and not the other, then that's okay, but you may be missing out on the other.